Guten Nachmittag, Maple Klasser. Hello, good afternoon. It's really great to do another German lesson for you today. Heute ist 27. Januar 2021. I'll go through the date in a second with you when we go through our learning intentions. But yeah, today it's Wednesday, it's the 27th of January 2021. And today we are going to be carrying on from what we've been learning about over the last few weeks. Thank you for all of those of you who've been sending in all of their work to me so I can see what you're writing and see the comments that you're making. It's really great to see. And hopefully by now as well, Year 5, some of you or lots of you are starting to use Microsoft Teams to do this, which will make it a lot easier because then I'm able to share the knowledge organisers with you with the lesson, which means you don't have to keep stopping the video and freezing it. You've got the resources to hand, which will help you as well. So let's get started with today's lesson. I'm just going to bring up, first of all, on our sharing screen, our PowerPoint. So let me just get it here. Okay, and you should have on your screen our title slide. So it's Mittwoch, den 27. Januar 2021, as I said. And again, today, just like the last few weeks, we're still learning the names of basic colours and the names of basic shapes. And we're doing that through the artwork that we've been looking at. So let's just take a very quick recap. Let's just revise the names of the shapes. Die Formen, shapes. I think we should know these really well by now. Das Dreieck, das Rechteck, das Oval, der Kreis, and das Quadrat. Okay, remember some of those things that we've used to help us remember them. I think oval is the easy one. It looks like oval as we would spell it in English as well. Remember Eck meaning corner. Okay, so Dreieck, 3 corner. And remember, what's my little saying for Der Kreis? What's my favourite song? Circle of Life, the Erwiegener Kreis, the Lion King, der König der Leon. So Der Kreis is a circle. And something else, if you want to research, if you're looking for something on YouTube, you can watch the Circle of Life in German being sung. You can find lots of versions of that. Der Erwiegener Kreis. It's really interesting. You can learn lots of language in that, but that's one of the ways I learned about the word for the word circle. Okay, so das Dreieck, das Rechteck, das Oval, der Kreis, der Quadrat. So we should know those really well. The two people always get confused with, I think, in their writing, in their speaking, is das Rechteck and das Quadrat. Which one is which? And I always think of the Rechteck being like rectangle. It's got that sound more like rectangle in English. And I think of quadrat, quad meaning 4, like a quad space is basically like a square. So that's how I think of quad meaning square. So we should have remembered those really well. Let's just look at as well, who were we talking about in Die letzte Stunde, in the last lesson? We were talking about a famous artist. And they were a German artist. Do you remember their name? Do you have any idea when they were born? Do you have any idea when they died? Geboren means born, gestorben means died. We were looking at the biography of this artist as well. I mean, the picture gives it a little bit of a clue. It's not in a colour, so it's a little while ago, but not too old. Can you ever remember of that artist's name? Any other clues you can think of about him? Okay, so he was Franz Marc. He was a German painter, and if you remember, I'm just going to now stop sharing that screen and I'm just going to go back to our other knowledge organizer, which I can show on the screen. But if you've got this at home, again, you can on Teams, you can just enlarge it and have a little look for yourself. So last week we looked at it. So the biography von Franz Marc, so the biography of Franz Marc. So he geboren 8. Februar 1880. He was born on the 8th of February 1880, and he's from a place called Munich in Germany, München as it's pronounced in Germany. Really lovely city, and I've been there myself. Of his education, he studied in Munich, and it's obviously his profession. He was an artist. He was a painter. And just interestingly, if you look at the German translation here, Ausbildung is education. Studiert, so he studied in München, in Munich. And then in terms of Beruf, that means job or profession, and Künstler is the word for artist. Kunst, which you should know because you did this word I think before Christmas. Kunst means art in German, so if you're doing an art lesson you say, oh, Kunst, but so Künstler, often if you have le on the end it means you do that thing that it talks about, so it's like an artist. Okay, and Lehrer is a teacher. Künstler is an artist. So achievements were verdienst, so er war Mitglied der Gruppe der Blaue Reiter. So he was a member of the Blue Rider, and was a group of artists in this German expressionist movement. So a type of artwork that was appearing in Germany, which was very kind of modern, very unique. You know, it wasn't just normal pictures of normal people and normal scenes. It was very unusual pieces of artwork, like Die Zwei Schweine that we've been looking at. And sadly, he died, so gestorben, am 4. März 1916. So 4th of March 1916 in Verdun in France, in Frankreich auf Deutsch, and das war im Ersten Weltkrieg. So he died in the First World War, really sadly, when he was fighting on the front line. So really sad, he died when he was very, very young. So that was a bit more about him. And one thing you could do from today's lesson as well, if you Google Franz Marc, you will see, if you find images, there are so many pictures that he has done and he has created, all very similar to Zwei Schweine in terms of the colours and the shapes, but all choosing different things. Like I saw there was one beautiful one that had like a unicorn in it. So really, if you want to have a little Google, have a look at the other artwork that he did. So I'm just going to stop sharing that screen. I'm going to go back to our other screen that we had here. So we've revised some basic information about Franz Marc, and we've been talking about, over the last few weeks, what our opinion is of the picture. So magst du das Bild? Do you like the picture? Magst du, like you, the picture? And often in German, when we ask questions, we put the verb first. So it's magst du, not du magst. Like we say in English, do you like? It's magst du, like you, the picture. So we've got some of the phrases that you might have used before. We've got ja, ich mag das Bild. Yes, I like the picture. Das Bild ist schön. What does schön mean? Schön means nice. Yeah, das Bild ist schön. Das Bild ist bunt. The picture is colourful. Das Bild ist interessant. The picture is interesting. Oder nein, ich mag das Bild nicht. No, I like the picture not. I don't. So I don't like the picture. And in German, switch the words around there. Nein, ich mag das Bild nicht. Das Bild ist zu bunt. No, or the picture is too colourful. Oder das Bild ist langweilig. The picture is boring. Okay, some of the phrases that you might be able to use there when describing it, and you're going to really need these today for your task. So please take those in and make sure you understand. And if you need to go back to this slide, then please do. Okay, things that you can see in the picture as well, and we've talked about this over the last few weeks. So im Bild sind zwei Schweine. In the picture are two pigs. Im Bild sind zwei Schweine. Remember the capital letter for pig because it's a noun, and all nouns in German have capital letters. That's why we've got Bild, picture, it's got a capital, and Schweine has got a capital letter. Ich sehe viele Farben und Formen. I see lots of colours and shapes. Colours and shapes, being the nouns, have got capital letters. Ich sehe viele Farben und Formen. And because they are plurals, that's why it's Farben and Formen, because it's more than one. It's not just Ich sehe viele Farben und Formen, it's Farben und Formen. Da sind Quadrate und Rechtecke. Da sind Quadrate und Rechtecke. Okay, there are squares and rectangles. Plurals here, Quadrate, Rechtecke. And ich sehe viele Farben. I see lots of colours. Da ist hellblue, da ist dunkelblau. And can you remember was hell und dunkel ist? Hell meaning light, dunkel meaning dark. Hell, light, dunkel is dark. I remember the D for dunkel is dark and hell is light, and you can use that interchangeably with lots of things. So let's just stop there again, and I'm going to go back to our knowledge organizer because that will help us with some of the phrases as well that we're going to use. And if I put that back on the screen, it should be here. Okay, you should be able to see that. And if I zoom back out a little bit here this time, if I go down, so words that we've got here, we know that vila means lots. Es gibt vila quadrata. Es gibt vila recteca. There are lots of squares. There are lots of rectangles. Es gibt vila dreiecken. There are lots of triangles. Es sieht aus wie ein. It looks like a is another phrase that you can use. It looks like a, and you can continue that. You've got the word for was or were, war and waren. Remember, v in German is the pronunciation in phonics for W. We've also got here schattiert, shaded. So you might say die, I don't know, das Oval ist grün schattiert. The oval is shaded green, and the schattiert goes to the end of the sentence. So das Oval ist grün schattiert. And der Hintergrund, the background, you could talk about that. Der Hintergrund ist bunt. The background is colourful. Or der Hintergrund hat Dreiecke und Rechtecke. The background has triangles and rectangles, whatever you might want to put there. You can form some phrases with those. And just remember here some of your keywords you've got. So deform or deformen, the shape or the shapes. Das Dreieck, triangle. Das Rechteck, rectangle. Das Quadrat, square. Das Oval, the oval. Der Kreis, the circle. Hell is light and dunkel is dark. Remember your capital letters for all of those nouns, please. Make sure we don't give them a small letter, lowercase. They all have capitals. So I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to go back to our other screen, because here is today's tasks that you're going to do, because this is the last week of us working on die zwei Schweine. So, and we're going to finish it with this task today. So I would like from you just a very short description of zwei Schweine. Now, I'm not looking for a paragraph. I'm really interested in maybe just 3 or 4 sentences. And what I would like is for you to describe the picture of die zwei Schweine, and I would also like your opinion as well. So tell me if you like it, tell me if you don't like it. So I want you to use the sentence frames in the videos that I've given you. You might need to pause and go back and look at the knowledge organizer as well to help you. And as I said, it might only be 3 or 4 sentences, but I want the date, I want the LI at the top, keep that practice in whether you're at home or whether you're at school, and I want you to send in a copy of your writing, or even better, you could do a short video of you reading your description and speaking it and telling it to me that way. My challenge for you is, can you include vocabulary? I want to see the vocabulary hell for light, dunkel for dark, schattiert for shaded, and der Hintergrund for the background as well. So you're going to need to go back to revisit this slide and this slide to help you with some of those phrases that you could use, and you're also going to need to use that knowledge organizer as well to help you out with some of the words for the formen, for the shapes, and also for dunkel and hell and those words there as well. So you can pause the video and go back to that when you need to. Remember to use all of the resources you've got. So I'm going to stop it there. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these sentences, these descriptions. Impress me with your knowledge of writing. Take your time. As I said, I'm not looking for lots and lots of sentences. I want 3 or 4 really good descriptive sentences that are accurate. So use the resources on the video to help you. Make sure you've got the words in the right order. Make sure you've got your capital letters for your nouns, and push yourself, challenge yourself. If you can read it out and you can film it and send it in, brilliant, because then you get to already present your work and I can hear you speaking it as well. Okay, so until next week, tschüss, auf Wiedersehen, and ich wünsche dir eine schöne Woche. I wish you a lovely week. See you next week, Year 5. Tschüss.